What's up, y'all? Listen, I wanted to do this video real quick talking about the narcissist in time. And the reason that I wanted to do this video is because I just read in the comment section from one of our channel members that they can't believe that the narcissist came in and wasted so much time of their life. And I can definitely empathize and sympathize with that, because that's kind of the same feelings and sentiments that I had at the end of my entanglement with the narcissist, because I couldn't believe that somebody would actually come into my life, play like they really wanted the same things that I wanted for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was the game, and, you know, I understand game and I understand, you know, how the game is played, but I didn't foresee somebody coming into my life and playing that long. And the reason that I waited that long and I was moving kind of slow, the reason that it took so long for the damage to be done was because I did have my guards high at the beginning. And, you know, now realizing that I didn't understand how to set good boundaries, I thought I was setting good boundaries by trying to guard my heart from the situation, by, you know, trying to treat the situation like a friends with benefits type of situation, and not realizing that even in a friends with benefits type of situation, if you continue to spend time, and that's, like I said, this video is talking about time with the narcissist. The more and more time you spend with somebody, even if it's a dog, I don't care what it is, the more and more time that you spend with anything, the more and more time that you spend doing anything, the more emotional attachment you'll have to it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I spent a lot of time playing basketball in my youth. So I'm going to always have an affinity. I'm going to always have a love for basketball, because that's something that I did so much. I spent so many years of my life doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that my love for that will ever go anywhere, regardless of whether I still continue to play now or any of that kind of stuff. It's one of those things where I spent a substantial amount of my time with this thing, and there's always going to be that certain emotional pull to that. So what I want to get at in this video is, not only does the narcissist waste your time and waste my time, waste our times, the narcissist uses time against us. You know what I'm saying? Time is actually a weapon for the narcissist. So, and what I mean by that is, like, I'm sure you guys have heard the term time heals all wounds. So one thing that I've noticed is, since my discard, it seems like the narcissist is just kind of trying to wait me out to get over the past hurt and the past drama and the past negativity that she's done, and so that she doesn't ever have to face any of that kind of stuff, so that she doesn't have to be held accountable for any of that kind of stuff. So it's almost like, well, I'll let a year go past, I'll let 2 years go past, I'll let 3 years go past, and then I'll use my femininity and I'll use my sex as a weapon and all of that kind of stuff. So I honestly feel like that's what she thought was going to be able to happen, but she didn't realize that I was solid on my square this time. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily saying this time. Had I known what she was up to all the other times, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the other times where we had off again, on again, you know, relationships, because I'm sure a lot of you guys had on again, off again relationships with the narcissist, because they can't stick to one thing for too long. You know what I'm saying? They can't stick to a job for too long. They can't stick to a person for too long. So in my situation, I had 3 rounds with the narcissist. I always talk about basically me going through 3 cycles with the narcissist. Some people say that they went through, like, I hear the average is going through 7 cycles with the narcissist before you actually detach and walk away. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how many cycles you guys have gone through, but I know for me, I went through the first one, and I actually enjoyed the first one because mentally I was just getting out of a different relationship. She came into my life, we had a lot of fun during that period of time, and then she just kind of disappeared. And when she disappeared that time, I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay because I wasn't emotionally invested into the situation. So again, that goes back to the narcissist and time. The more and more time that the narcissist has to be around you and to basically groom you and get you used to them and get you used to, you know, their patterns and their movements, that's the more time that they feel like they are acquiring a fake, false sense of control over you. You know what I'm saying? So, and none of that is real either. Like, even that's why it doesn't last. That's why the mask falls off and then everything blows up every time with the narcissist, because their sense of control isn't real. So that's another thing that I want to point out to you guys, is that I know you guys feel like you may have been under some type of spell dealing with the narcissist, or you've been, you know, you feel like you have been manipulated and controlled, but that's a false sense of control. If they really had control, they wouldn't have to do the things that they do to manipulate and lie and, you know, do things behind your back to, you know, that's not control. That's not real control. And that's why when exposure happens, they got to run. That's why they have to discard you. That's why they have to go to a new victim and, you know, move on from you, because it's not real. That sense of control that they have is not, you know, the devil is a liar. You know what I'm saying? And the devil also has a false sense of control. He wants to be God. You know what I'm saying? So if you put it into those terms, you got to look at the narcissist the same way. The narcissist wants to be omnipresent, omnipotent, all of that kind of thing, and they're just not. So one thing that I realized in my situation was the narcissist was using time as a weapon. She was using time against me. So like during the smear campaign, she would, you know, think that, okay, I'm going to give him the smear campaign for this amount of time, or I'm going to tell this amount of people about what he did, or whatever the case may be, and hopefully he'll cower down to that and hide away and, you know, don't fight back against the smear campaign. Or the silent treatment. That's definitely a big one with time. You know, maybe I'll give him the silent treatment for 2 or 3 months, and then he'll come back chasing me and wanting to get back with me, and that's what she was actually expecting. So she was using time as a weapon against me. And what she didn't realize is, once I realized who she was, and once I started figuring out what this was as far as MPD and, you know, all of the different cluster B personality disorders and all of the damage that they do and all of that kind of stuff. So once I started realizing what I was up against, I guess in her mind, she thought that I was always going to be there. I was always going to come back. I was always going to, because my thing is, I'm the type of person that regardless of what happens in between our relationship, as long as I don't know that, like I didn't know that she was disrespecting me the first 2 times around. You see what I'm saying? I didn't find out that you know, she didn't start blatantly disrespecting me until the 3rd cycle. You know what I'm saying? So the first cycle, we was real cool. We hung out for about a year and a half, and then she just disappeared. And she kind of came back with some sob story about her life, and I was just like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of accepted her back, and she hung out again for about a year and a half, and then she disappeared again. You know what I'm saying? So the second time that she disappeared, I kind of started looking at her like, you know, what's going on? So when she, actually, I didn't realize at that point when she disappeared that what was going on, but when she tried to come back the 3rd time, when she tried to actually come back into my life, now I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit more mature, I'm a little bit more seasoned, I guess, and now I'm like wanting more for my life outside of what she has brought me the first 2 times. Even though the first 2 times we had a good time, it was always cool, we was always, you know, it always seemed like we were good friends, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, if this is all you have to offer, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? But of course, the narcissist knows what you want. You know what I'm saying? They know that you want more than that. They know that you want. So this time around, the third time around, she played like her and I were on the same page again. And she played it to a T this time, all the way up until, you know, basically me ending up getting her pregnant. And like I said, a lot of you guys can say what you want about, you know, women trapping men. A lot of people feel like women can't trap a man because I guess the man has the seed and we plant the seed, or whatever the case may be. But if you are dealing with a woman that under false pretenses, that is giving you the idea that you are going to have a perfect family and that you're going to, basically it was like a finesse move. It's like, it's almost like if somebody was to fraudulently steal your identity and run up your credit cards or something like that, and you find out who it is, you can be pissed off, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the same type of thing. It's like this person fraudulently presented themselves as a person that I could trust and that was going to be a good parent, that was going to be a good teammate, that was going to be all of these different things. And then when she got me into that position where she actually had those type of things from me, where she actually got pregnant, now we have a child on the way, now her true colors are starting to show. So I know a lot of women don't have any sympathy for a man going through something like that, but you know, it's disheartening to have somebody to play a position like that and come into your life and act like they are on the same page as you and give you everything that you want up front, and all of that is just a finesse. All of that is basically just, you know, something to get you locked into whatever it is that whatever plan that they had for you. And in my position, she wanted another child, and I'm not sure if she wanted another child just because she was, you know, yearning for another child, or if it was a money play as far as playing on, you know, the government and, you know, playing on the government's assistance as far as, you know, getting, you know, tax returns and child support and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if that was, you know, the major play or whatever the case may be. I'm still trying to figure out why she did what she did. But one of the things that I realized is that the longer and longer that the narcissist has to work on you, the more hooks that they put into you. So in my situation, like I said, because I had 3 rounds with her, she knew how I thought. She knew what I wanted. She knew what I was looking for from the situation. And because she knew what I wanted from the situation, she presented that. And she presented it in such a good way that I thought this time was going to be better than the last times. You know what I'm saying? The last 2 times. And that's kind of the, you know, the nonsense that we get caught up in, is that we thinking like, okay, this time around is going to be better than last time, because the last time we, you know, I was younger and maybe I had things going on and she had things going on, and we were just, you know, things just didn't line up perfectly at that time, or whatever the case may be. But now we're older and we're more mature and all, you know, so you fall into that fairy tale of thinking that, okay, this time is going to be the right time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I guess I thought about it. But I can honestly say that when she came back around that 3rd time, I was honestly like, you know, like I had this apprehensiveness about when she came back that 3rd time, because I'm like, you know, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why was because I'm like, listen, we had 2 go-rounds where we had an almost perfect situation. We were so cool, and we got along, and we were having so much fun and all of that, or at least I thought that that's what was happening, because we were always out and about and going places and doing things, and, you know, we spent a lot of time together those first 2 times around. So because of that, I'm thinking like, okay, you know, if it didn't work out the first time, and then you came back a second time and then disappeared again, and it didn't work out that time. And there's still really no explanation as to why it didn't work out. It's no explanation. Like, I'm here, I'm in the mix, and I'm willing to deal with you if that's what you really want to do. But I'm not going to force that on nobody, you know what I'm saying? So she would pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. And then that third time, I was real apprehensive. I'm like, man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I started kind of picking up on the red flags that third time around. I didn't even see, I was completely oblivious to the red flags those first 2 times around. I never saw any red flags until this third time around. And I think that because so much time was invested, she started feeling so comfortable with me that she felt like she had so many different hooks in me that now she could start showing who she really was. So time definitely works in the favor of the narcissist, you know what I'm saying? Like, she really, even now, during the Hoover, and that's why I want to tell you guys, like, literally don't accept the Hoover, and you gotta be extremely strong, because the narcissist will wait you out, you know what I'm saying? They'll use time against you again. Like, they will do something horrible to you and then go silent on you for a year, year and a half, 2 years. And that whole year and a half, you're wanting answers. You want to know what happened. You want to know why this happened. You want to know, like, you know, why they would move how they moved. And like, you want answers to a lot of questions. And the fact of the matter is, you're never going to get those answers, because they don't even have the answers. They don't even know why they do the things that they do half the time. They just do it impulsively because that's the feeling that they had, and they went with it. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even really explain to you why they do the things that they do. But I just noticed in this situation that I had been dealing with, she tries to use time as a measuring stick of like, okay, well, it's been a year. Let me see if he'll bite on this Hoover. You know what I'm saying? Or, okay, it's been a year and a half, 2 years now. Okay, let me try to Hoover him again. So it's almost kind of like she's waiting for me to get to the point where I'm over what she did to me. Or, you know, that maybe not necessarily over it, but at least willing to have a conversation about it, or at least willing to, you know, address the situation. But me personally, I'm like this. If you did something wrong to me, if you hurt me in any type of way, and you let a year go past, 2 years go past, because I'm thinking about how I would handle things. So if I'm thinking about me personally, if I hurt somebody in any type of way, and I know I hurt them, and I know that I was dead wrong in that situation, I'm going to try to address the situation immediately to, you know, get some type of closure and get some type of, you know, understanding about the situation. But the fact that you would come into my life, move how you moved, basically steal my seed and have a baby, and then run off to the next person, tear our family apart, or what I thought was going to be a family, all of that kind of stuff. If you thought that you were going to be able to like come into my life, do all of that kind of stuff, and there was not going to be any type of feelings or repercussions or anything behind that, like, you had me totally like messed up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of narcissists will try to do. They will come in, they will destroy your life, they will disappear. They will disappear long enough for you to get over it, or you to at least get to a position where when they come back around, you're not going to always be talking about that. You're not going to always be addressing that. They can move on without showing any accountability to that. Now, in my situation, I have pretty much held my water, because the things that she did to me, not only did it affect me, it affected my family, and it also affected our son together. So, and even though my son is so young, he doesn't understand how it affects him just yet. But me knowing, you know, what it's like to not have your father in the household and all of that kind of stuff, I know what that does to a little boy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was that little boy one time before. I was that little boy that wanted my father to be in the household and wanted to, you know, have that everyday interaction with my father when I can only have it on the weekends, because that was the dynamics of my situation once my mother and father divorced. So, you know, I just, you know, just thinking about that comment, it kind of just brought me to a situation where I was like, damn, not only does the narcissist waste our time, they use time against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, time actually works in their favor. They actually use time to, they use time as a manipulation. Time to them is another manipulation. It's another way to say, okay, well, they can sweep things under the rug and act like nothing ever happened, because you got to think about it. It's like almost like how they say in criminal proceedings, like the statute of limitations is up on that. You know what I'm saying? So a narcissist will come into your life, do damage, stay away from you long enough to where the statute of limitations is up on that. So it's like, if you bring up whatever it is that they did at this point, now it's like 4 years later, 5 years later, 6 years later, now you look like the clown because you're still stuck on the past. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of manipulative games that they like to play. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just making this video to get you guys to, like, hold on during the Hoovers. I know that it's going to be tempting to go back. I know it's going to be like, if nothing else, you want to go back to have answers. You want to have, like, what the hell just happened? You know what I'm saying? You want to go back for some type of closure. And one thing that I had to realize is that I had my own closure once I knew for a fact that this person was lying to me. Once I knew for a fact that this person was lying and cheating and all of that kind of stuff, I didn't need to know the details of why. Like, the details of it was only going to hurt me more. You know what I'm saying? The details of whatever was going on was only going to make the situation worse to me. So the fact that, like, once I had enough knowledge to know, okay, this is what's going on and I need to get out of this situation because I don't feel safe in this situation. Not necessarily saying that I don't feel safe, like I'm scared of this person, but I'm scared of what this person might push me into doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared of what, like, this person is so dangerous and so treacherous and lies so much and plays people against each other so much, triangulates so much, and the fact that she's still somewhat attractive is even more scary, because it's easy for her to obtain supply. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for her to go out and, okay, she got this guy, then she got this guy, she got this guy, she got this, and you never know what you're dealing with and all of that kind of stuff. So me, again, I always play defense. Like, at the very beginning, of course, I never really wanted to play the emotional, like, what's going on, like, who's this dude, none of that, because I always looked at it like, man, listen, my loyalty in this situation is supposed to be to you. You know what I'm saying? You and yours to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you are stepping out and dealing with other dudes, that ain't his problem. That ain't his fault. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he comes and, you know, oversteps his boundaries or disrespects me in any type of way, or, you know, if there's any pressure on my son at all in the situation, it is what it is. Then I got to do what I got to do. But I can't control what that woman decides to do with her body and with her mouth and with her time. You know what I'm saying? So when she showed me that she just wanted to, you know, spend her time doing her thing, and she wanted to jump out there with the new supply and all of that kind of stuff, salute, I holler at you. And, you know, what she thought was going to happen again was time was going to heal all wounds. She thought that I was going to be able to get past all of what she had done. I was going to, you know, after a certain amount of months, that I was going to come crawling back to her, and that I was going to, like, beg for, you know, us to be back together and us to fix whatever the situation was. So again, she tried to use time, you know, to as a manipulation to play against me. And it kind of blew up in her face because I wasn't the one that was ever going to chase her. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of love for her. I had a tremendous amount of hope for that situation because I had my son in that situation. But once I realized that this person was fraudulent and this person was, you know, for the streets, she basically wanted to be out there. I don't have no problem with walking away from nobody, you know what I'm saying? And I guess I've developed that over the years from going through so many different toxic situations that I didn't even realize. I honestly, to be 100% with y'all, I didn't even know what toxicity was. I didn't even know, like, I've heard the term, of course, but I didn't understand what toxic people meant and all of that kind of stuff before I went through this experience. And then once I went through this experience, then I was able to kind of look back on my life and realize, damn, I grew up in toxicity, and that's one of the reasons why I couldn't recognize it, because I grew up in it. I grew up with so many people around me that didn't have my best interests at heart, that didn't want to see me win, or not just necessarily me, but just like people in my family, that like people around me, you know, my environment. I grew up in like a toxic environment, and I didn't even realize how damaging that an environment could be to you, you know, until I went through the situation on the relationship level. And then I can look back, and like they say, hindsight is 20/20. When I started looking back, I could realize, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I was dealing with, you know, toxic friends in this situation. I've dealt with toxic exes in this situation. You know, I even have toxic family members in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So hindsight is 20/20, and I was able to go back and look and, you know, realize some things about my own personal life that I needed to clean up, and some people that I needed to cut off, and some things that I needed to address to move on and heal from it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to drop this video real quick and just tell y'all, like, the reason why the narcissist doesn't care about wasting your time is because time actually works in their favor. They use time against you to manipulate the entire situation, to not take accountability. They utilize time against you to gain more power and control over you. They utilize time against you to, you know, withhold things from you. And okay, I'm going to withhold sex from you for this amount of time because I want you to conform to whatever it is that you do, or whatever the case may be. So time don't mean nothing to a narcissist, because it's actually a tool that they can use against you. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to drop that video real quick and give y'all a different perspective on why time doesn't mean anything to them, and why they can sit around and waste your time and waste so much of your energy and not care anything about it. So I hope that helps somebody, man. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all in a minute.